Green Federation. The Green Federation is first most powerful nation of Plastopia, with an army of 3 million men, it a force capable of fighting around the world and able to defend its territory. They are a fiercely patriotic nation with a hatred for their rivals the Reds. This army men faction based on the US WW2 Army. Blue Empire. The Blue Empire is a powerful nation with 2 million men, it has the finest armored force in the world. As seen in the series, it capable of fighting off the Greys and conquer the Oranges. Their commanders are seen as the best in the world, especially led by Grand Commander Blue. This army men faction is based on the British WW2 Army. Yellow Republic. The Yellow Republic is a relatively new nation in Plastopia. They used to be under the control of the Oranges until they fought for their independence. They have threats north and south of them. Despite this, they quickly modernized their militia-based army to a professional Grand Army with the support of their allies. They are some of the best fighters of Plastopia and most adaptive. This army men faction is based on both the French and Japanese WW2 armies. Grey Kingdom. The Grey Kingdom was at first seen as the weakest member of the RGPO, only to surprise everyone with its excellent mechanized forces led by its heavy tanks. The tanks and the infantry was shown to be a deadly force in the battlefield. This army men faction based on the German WW2 Army Red Union. The Red Union is the eternal rival of the Greens, having the second largest army in Plastopia but not as great with technology. Although the newly created T-54 tank. They are based on the WW2 Soviet Army. Purple Horde Confederation. The Purples have the largest population of Plastopia, however its military have poor technology. So it compensates with large infantry forces with rifles to overwhelm its enemies. They are based around the Chinese military of WW2. Orange Sultanate. This is a nation weakened due to corruption and poor leadership. Despite having some talented commanders like Tanger, the Orange military is poorly trained and equipment. It by far the weakest of the Plastopian nations. Its army men is based 09 and the Italian WW2 military.
This is Plastopia, the world of the Army Men Nations Green Federation, Red Union, Yellow Republic, Orange Sultanate, Grey Kingdom, Blue Empire, and the Purple Horde Confederation. For 160 years in the Plastopian calendar, their nations lived in general peace with occasional small wars happening now and then. But in year 160 of the Plastopian calendar, the Yellow War of Independence would be the first large-scale war seen in the Plastopian world. As the Yellows and Oranges fought a brutal war against each other for the Yellow mainland, other nations would form alliances during the crisis, with the Reds and Greys supporting the Orange Sultanate, while the Blues and Greens supported the Yellow Wars. After a 5-year brutal war, the Yellow Republic would be formed. The Orange Sultanate would swear revenge against the Yellows for the war and hope to conquer them. After this conflict, more larger-scale wars would occur throughout Plastopia with them. First in 2 Indie Green-Red Wars, Grey Invasion of Hollow Blue, Yellow-Purple War, and the Orange-Green War. These wars would form the coalitions which came to be known as GBY Alliance and the RGPO Union of the. However, despite the increased hostilities, no one declared a world war for a couple of decades, leading to a rise of the army men population. That was until year 220 of the Plastopian calendar. The Orange Sultan, Auras, the first would with help from the Purple Horde launch the Great Plastopian War, starting with an invasion on the Yellow Republic. Within days of this invasion, the Greys would launch mechanized assaults on the Blues, and the Reds launch assaults on the Green-owned islands near the Red Union. Year 1. The Yellows at first struggled against the Purple-Orange invasions as a militia attempted to slow down the invaders at heavy cost. The invaders thought that the Republic would collapse under the weight of the superior forces. However, the Yellows instead fought back ferociously with everything they had. The Yellow President Yamato was able to rally the Yellow Nation to the defense of their Republic. Millions would join the Yellow Armed Forces, factories churned military equipment to its forces. This, and the excellent leadership of Yellow Commander-in-Chief Yakaza, would drive the invaders from the Republic. The Blues would not only stop the Greys, but push back on the Greys' territories with brutal back and forth fighting for them. The Greens would launch a brutal naval war against the Reds, while sending troops to support their allies. Year 2. Soon the Reds attempt an invasion of the Yellow Republic as well, but they also lose to the Republic in a planned invasion of the Greens. The Blues then launch Operation Friendly to invade the western side of the Greens, resulting in tens of thousands of casualties on both sides. The Purple soon after evacuated from the Yellow mainland after losing one of their 2 armies. The Reds would invade the Green mainland, but would bog down due to the first battle. During all of this, the Blue and Yellows launch an invasion of the other side. In 4 months of hard fighting, they made the Orange Soldiers surrender to the Blues, making the Oranges drop out of the war and giving the Yellows the idea to invade the Purple formation. The Greens. Year 3. Currently, during the second year of the Plastopian Wars, the Blue Expeditionary Force defeated the Orange Sultanate. They installed Auras II as the ruler of the newly named Orange Kingdom. The new Orange Royalist military is equipped with blue weapons. However, many Orange soldiers in the old Sultanate hate being puppets to the Blues and rebels. The Orange Rebel Army is led by the Great Orange. Currently, the rebels hold the eastern side of the country with other cells, fighting similar battles against. Already tens of thousands of Oranges died on both sides of this conflict. Due to the Civil War, the new Orange Kingdom is unable to help the Blues.
This results with the Reds taking 40,000 casualties and 500 vehicles destroyed, with the Green suffering 22,000 casualties and 320 vehicle losses. With the lines of the Reds collapsing under the weight of this assault, the Greens in time would launch Operation Crusher 2 to finish the second Red invasion force. With the success of Crusher 1, Crusher 2 is launched as a crescendo to destroy the second Red invasion force. The main objective is the town of Greggsville. The Green 49th Tank and 144th Infantry Divisions are assigned to take the town and destroy the Red 281st Infantry Division. This would result in brutal fighting for 3 weeks. The Greens launch Operation Crusher 3 to finish the second Red invasion force, as the Reds evacuate as many men as they could. The Greens launch huge armored attacks to destroy the majority of the force. The Yellow's Green invasion force would land on the Purple Fort National, slowly push inland in the face of brutal fighting for every meter of ground. This is the situation of the Plastopian War so far. I hope you enjoy the series as much as I did. See ya.
Take it now.
After the successful breakout of the Grand River, the Blues initiate Operation Bacon to drive southwest to fully destroy the Grey front line and cause a mass retreat. As the Blue Blitzkrieg drives on, the next place on the chopping block was Blackwell Station. The Greys, suffering from multiple defeats, hopes to at least slow down the Blue advance so that their secret weapon can get ready. Despite knowing Blackwell Station is a lost cause, the Greys' 65th Panzer Brigade and 129th Infantry Regiment will fight to buy time against the Blue 88th Armored and 49th Infantry Divisions. Despite all their efforts, the Blue Armored Spearhead reached Grenberg. The only Grey forces in the area is the Grey 388th and 188th Infantry Divisions. After a week of brutal fighting, Grenberg fell and a third of Grey territories is under Blue control. This would be the darkest hour of the Grey Nation. After losing much of the western Grey Plains, the Greys create the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Grey Heavy Armored Divisions. Units, first of its kind specially made to destroy the veritable Blue Armored Corps. So the Greys launch Operation Cinder to retake the west from the Blues and destroy the 3 Blue Armored Divisions in the area. After the destruction of half of the 3rd Blue Armored Corps, the 292nd Grey Heavy Division launch a powerful assault on Victoria Ridge to overwhelm the rest of the battered Blue Corps. This leads to a brutal 10-day battle between the two forces, which resulted in the Blue falling back to Grenenberg. The Greens launch Operation Crusher. 1. This operation is to destroy the 2nd Red Invasion Force. The Greens allocated the 99th, 24th, 15th, 19th Infantry, and 67th Armored Divisions for this operation. Opposing them were the Red 12th, 108th, 56th and 99th Infantry Divisions of the 33rd Red Assault Corps. A few days from now, the Greens will destroy much of the 33rd Red Assault Corps and smash through the 1st and 2nd lines.